Thinking about making a move to Jacksonville and you're concerned about hurricanes? Well, stick around. Let me educate you about hurricanes here in Florida and in the Jacksonville area. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about Jacksonville and the surrounding areas, make sure you hit subscribe and the alerts bell so that you can be the first to know what's going on here in the Jacksonville area. Hi, my name is Greg and I get calls from people just like you every day looking to move to the Jacksonville area, and I love it. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. My information will be in the description, and I hope to help make you make a smooth transition here to the Jacksonville area. So today we're going to talk about hurricanes and if they hit Jacksonville, so let's get after it now. Growing up in the Caribbean, I don't have the standard fear of hurricanes based on my experience, knowledge, and preparation. And that's the most important thing you need to know about hurricanes. What differentiates a tropical storm to a hurricane? And that is the wind speed. Anything over 74 miles an hour is considered a hurricane. And hurricanes are rated by categories based on their wind speed. So you have categories 1 through 5. Anything over category 2 or 3, anything over 110 miles an hour, that's where you should start having some concern. Now remember, hurricanes formulate in warm waters, usually in the Caribbean, and that's where they gain speed. And then they slow down when they hit landfall. So the reality is here in Jacksonville, we've only had one category 3 and up hurricane give us a direct hit, and that was Hurricane Dora in 1963. From what I read up about it, there had about 50 homes that had damage, but mostly flooding. Even 20 homes, what I read, were blown into the ocean in Jack's Beach. So again, you want to be concerned about coastal areas where you're going to have higher wind speed, because once it hits land, usually the hurricanes will slow down. So if you're looking for a home, obviously the closer you are inland, the least likely you're going to experience damage. Also, the way Jacksonville is on the map, we're kind of like in the armpit area of Florida. So usually we'll have hurricanes hit south or central Florida and kind of bank off landfall and then continue towards the Carolinas. So let's go ahead and get a little more in depth of what areas are more susceptible to hurricanes here in the state of Florida. All right, so there's a lot of conflicting information of what the most susceptible areas of hurricanes in Florida are. So I went to the study done by Universal Insurance Company that basically looked historically at the most hurricanes that were category 3 and above that hit the state of Florida. And the most hurricane-prone area of Florida is Northwest Florida, the Panhandle. They had 24 hurricanes that are over or category 3 and above. Following Northwest Florida and the Panhandle is Southwest Florida. Think Naples, the Tampa area. They had 17 category 3 through 5 hurricanes. Following Southwest Florida, close behind is Southeast Florida, where I came from in South Florida. They've had 16 category 3 through 5 hurricanes. And they are most noted for one of the worst category hurricanes, which was Hurricane Andrew, which hit in 1992 and destroyed part of South Florida. Actually, that hurricane was responsible for the change in building codes, which I'll get a little bit into later on in this video. Finally, the least susceptible area for direct hit hurricanes category 3 and above is Northeast Florida. So that would include Jacksonville. Again, they only had one category 3 hurricane, which was Dora back in 1963, which I already discussed. But I will say, as late as 2017, Irma, which destroyed my family's house in the Caribbean, did actually get up to Jacksonville, but by the time it got to Jacksonville, again, when they hit land, they lose strength in the wind speed. When they go back out to ocean, they regain the wind speed, but by the time it got to Jacksonville, it wasn't even a hurricane anymore. But what happened is it caused 3 days of rain and then a huge storm surge from the ocean, and the combination of the two created massive flooding in the St. Johns River and of course any of the coastal areas. So even though Irma was not a hurricane by the time it hit Jacksonville, it did create a lot of havoc here in Jacksonville, but mainly flooding. So let's get into about insurance, flood insurance, and building structures here in Jacksonville. I grew up in South Florida, also born and raised in the Caribbean, so I'm used to concrete block construction. So it was quite an adjustment when I moved my family up here to the Jacksonville area, because I noticed in all the construction, everything is wood frame. I had a little bit of apprehension at the beginning of that, but again, if you talk about the categories of hurricanes and wind speeds that hit our area, we've only had one Category 3. Again, that was Dora back in 1960. So I guess the general consensus, it's not necessary. If I lived on a beach home here, I would certainly be building a concrete block if I could. But I just understand from builders, it's just not profitable and worth their time to offer custom concrete built homes. So what they do offer here in Northeast Florida is, I guess, safety code measures, such as adding fasteners from the foundation to the framing of the house, and then from the framing a fastener to the roof of the house to fasten it, have that extra security to sustain high winds. They also have specific windows that are supposed to be able to sustain high winds. Again, if there's a Category 3 plus hurricane coming into town, like our first year here, Hurricane Dora was destroyed the Bahamas and was heading up our direction. And I decided, you know what, I'm in a wood frame home with these windows, no shutters. I was used to hurricane impact windows and shutters in a block home. I decided to pick up my family and head up to Georgia for a few days. That's just a precaution I took. Now that I've been in Northeast Florida for quite a while now, I don't fear being in a wood frame home, and quite frankly, you don't have a lot of choice unless you're building a custom block by the beach. So again, another thing you may notice that they have in a lot of these communities are these retention ponds, and they say, hey, would you like a lake view or a lake preserve view? These are retention ponds, and they actually have use because we're so prone to flooding here in Northeast Florida. That's why they put those retention ponds. So you really want to get in touch with a real estate professional that can tell you whether or not the property you're looking at is in a flood zone, and then also advise you properly with the correct insurance for the home, as well as flood insurance. I mean, I have flood insurance. I'm not in a flood zone. It's an extra $300 to $500 a year. Not a whole lot. I'm really impressed with the insurance rates. So again, it's always important to get with somebody that knows the area, that understands the business, and find yourself the right home in the right area where you feel safe, get the adequate insurance, and that's really the key. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to see you when you come into town, and don't forget to check out, I have a couple videos on why we moved here to Jacksonville area. One of those was because of the weather, and then also I have an inspections video where we go over pre-drywall inspections and final inspections, so you understand how your home is built and what to look out for during the building process. So see you on that next video.